Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens 2. Rebirth of Emperor Yang Part 28 based on novel. So let's start. Shushan clapped his hand on the medicine tripod in front of him, and his sleeve rope waved again. Hundreds of streamers of different colors were shot out. After a turn in the air, they were all thrown into the medicine tripod. Guild fire, up! With a low cry, Shushan slapped the palm of his hand at the mouth of the fire. For a while, a dazzling golden light filled the world, and the power of blazing fire swept into the space around everyone in an instant. The air suddenly became dry and warm. Taking a breath made people feel that the throat became dry and abnormal, as if all the water vapor in the world had been drained. When the golden light dispersed, a group of flames shining with the golden light of colored glass burned in the medicine tripod. The raging flames gushed out of the tripod and rushed into the sky. The momentum was like a king overlooking the heaven and earth. Is this the power of Shu Xiaojin's gilding fire? It's really worthy of being a strong fighter of Dozone. It's just that his momentum is exposed. He can be so strong. It's really good. At this time, many people looked surprised and looked at the gold gilding fire in the tripod. They were full of envy, and their tone also contained a lot of flattery. Yes. The gold gilded fire is extraordinary. It is said that it is a flame pregnant from the body of the 7th level Warcraft gold gilded beast. It has extraordinary ability and the high temperature burning the world. It is extremely terrible. In addition to the body of the gold gilded beast, the gold gilded beast is invincible among the 7th level Warcraft. As soon as the man's voice fell, there was no time to change the look on their faces, but another cold laughter came out. Cut, you only know that the gold gilded beast is mighty and can be called the invincible existence among the 7th level Warcraft, but you don't know. At the moment, the gold gilded fire in Xiaoshu's hand is that Xiaoshu personally killed an adult gold gilded beast and obtained it from his body. So, the myth of the invincible battle of the gilded beast at the same level is just a joke. In front of us Xu Xiao, hey, to be honest, you have to lie down for the tiger and you have to lie down for the dragon. As soon as he said this, he immediately caused a sensation. Judging from Shushan's strength, he just broke through to Dozone, but the gold gilded fire has been with Shushan for many years. It's really unexpected that Shushan had personally killed 7-level Warcraft before becoming Dozone. Such achievements can be called terrible. Unfortunately, when the people were shocked by this remark, they did not find that the family emblem of the Shu family in Yangluo City was prominently tattooed under their clothes on their chest. When everyone was surprised to talk about it, Shushan in the field raised a touch of ridicule from the corners of his mouth and showed ridicule in the eyes of those people. A bunch of fools believe such a sentence. Hey, it's really stupid. The gilded beast, not to mention me at the beginning. Even if Ben Shao wants to deal with young animals, he has to weigh 1 or 2. What's more, the adult Warcraft is really a group of fools. With a sneer in his heart, Shushan turned his eyes to Muling again, and his face suddenly became warm. However, it is also self-evident why under that appearance. Brother Mu, I don't know what kind of flame you have. I can't say it's also an amazing fire. It's not necessarily aha. Muling stared at Shushan, his face suddenly turned violent and a playful smile came up at the corners of his mouth, laughing. Although it's not a world of fire, it's enough to fight with you. As he said this, Muling stretched out his hand and stared at Shushan's eyes. With a low drink, he suddenly said, Green Yang Xian fire, up. With Muling's murmur, in the space in front of him, a green-blue flame suddenly rose. As soon as the flame came out, a stream of water vapor immediately rose between heaven and earth. Although it is water vapor, the high temperature contained in it makes people feel very hot when they take a breath. They almost want to burn their bodies. This flame can turn things of heaven and earth into their own use. Such a scene is quite opposite to Shushan's gilded fire. One is that it has the most terrible high temperature which can evaporate everything and hurt people's body. The other is that it can use the water vapor between heaven and earth as its own weapon to attack the most vulnerable internal organs of the human body and hurt the source. Boom! Muling suddenly poked out his hand and inserted it into the blue flame in front of him. Then he grasped it with his palm. Without waiting for everyone to react, Muling waved his arm fiercely, and the blue flame turned into a flame whip, which rushed into the sky with Muling's continuous waving. The blue flame flies in the air, and the blue light on it flickers. If you don't watch carefully, you can't understand that there is a flame here. Although the cyan flame is ordinary, it is powerful. If a person with low cultivation glances at it, it will be hot and violent in his heart, or burn the fire and spontaneous combustion immediately. This shows how powerful the power of the cyan flame is. However, some people with poisonous eyes cooperate with the burning hot air. Even if they react, the flame is the legendary green Yang Xian fire. It's actually green Yang Xian fire, it's green Yang Xian fire. It's a powerful existence second only to different fire. I didn't expect that Muling could get good luck. It's really unfair. As soon as the sound came out, all the people present looked surprised, and the crowd that had not yet calmed down was boiling again. A sound with shock came out one after another. Qing Yang Xianhua. It's really Qing Yang Xianhua. This is a green, Yang and Xian fire. It's second only to the horror of different fire. However, in this crowd, there are also people who blindly worship Shushan. Even at this moment, they are trying their best to suppress the shock in their hearts and refute those who believe that this is Qing Yang Xianhua. Hey, do you think it's possible? Qing Yang Xianhua, is that what this Muling can get? It's probably the boy's cover, trying to kill Xu Xiao's confidence. This man is really a good schemer. Hey, now the Mu family is lonely. What else can't they do? I don't think it's possible to see such a scene around here if you cover your eyes. Whether it's true or false, you'll see. Suddenly, the noisy crowd became fanatical. The attraction of green, Yang, and Xian fire was really extraordinary. The reputation of the first flame under the different fire alone was enough to make these people completely crazy. Xiao Yan also smiled at this. The flame really aroused a trace of interest in his heart. The combination of blazing and soft water is somewhat similar to the bone spirit cold fire. Although it is not on the list of different fires, it is really very good. Muling's face moved. He didn't want to, but today Shushan mocked him many times. Now he has to show his real cards. Drink. With a fierce drink, the blue flame hovering over Muling's head suddenly vibrated, and a heroic spirit overlooking the world also rushed into the sky. The gold-gilded fire, which had just returned to the sky, became listless at the moment when the breath spread, just like the common people swaying when they saw the king. The strange fire in Xiao Yan's body is also touched at this moment. As the divine fire of heaven and earth, how can other flames be allowed to dominate in front of him? Xiao Yan was naturally helpless. His heart moved and pressed it down. Only then did he continue to look at them. When the scene of gilded fire came into the eyes of the people who were just suspicious turned into a shocked color. The eyes looking at Muling were filled with endless greed. Shushan also looked at Muling in surprise. There was an unspeakable cold meaning in his eyes. Obviously, Shushan was quite upset that Muling pressed him on this matter. But then Shushan smiled again and said, I really underestimated Brother Mu. I didn't expect that Brother Mu still had such a fire. In that case, let's increase our bets today. If either of us loses, we'll hand over our own flame. Of course, I know that Brother Mu's green, hot and mysterious fire is precious, and my gold-gilded fire can't match it. Therefore, I'll bet on something of the same value plus the gold-gilded fire with Brother Mu, otherwise I'm sorry for the divine fire. At the end of the speech, Shushan's words had a little more meaning of greed. Seeing this, Mulong frowned slightly and just wanted to refute, but Shushan directly opened his mouth and blocked his words back. Brother Mu, don't say you're afraid of my proposal. If so, I'll just regard you as voluntarily abstaining and admitting defeat. You? Muling was filled with anger when he heard the speech. Shushan obstructed him twice and again today, which really made people angry. But Shushan did not pay any attention. After talking, he put all his energy into the medicine tripod in front of him. Previously, because he was only warming up, Xiao Yan had not begun to refine the medicine. As soon as he started, many people turned their eyes. Just when Xiao Yan was proud, Mu Ling pinched and printed with both hands, and the power of the soul spread. At the same time, the light of the medicine tripod in front of him was shocked. One hand slapped on the tripod, and the tripod cover was opened. Mu Ling waved his palm, and more than 100 Chinese herbal medicines were suspended in the sky. Each of them scattered an extremely strong fragrance of medicine, which filled thousands of miles. At first glance, it was an extraordinary thing. The pupils of everyone at the bottom contracted and kept their eyes fixed, because they had the honor to have seen these miraculous drugs before, and none of them was priceless. But why were these medicinal materials in the hands of this waste? Playing tricks. Xiao Yan frowned. He was robbed again in front of the crowd, which made him unhappy. He was preconceived. He never paid attention to Mu Ling, so he could only think that Mu Ling was just putting on flowers. Even so, Xiao Yan didn't want to lose. Immediately, his hands changed, and a strong soul force broke out in an instant, sweeping away at the traditional Chinese medicine in the medicine tripod. As the saying goes, experts watch the doorway and laymen watch the excitement. Although no one can pay attention to Dan Idao's presence, it's still exciting to see this momentum. Xiao Yan naturally despises the competition between the two, but Mu Ling's character is quite to his taste, so he will always wait in his heart. With the beginning of the medicine, 2 medicinal tablets are also occupied by diversiform or viscous medicinal liquids or powder. The competition between the two finally began. One day passed quietly, and the onlookers also went to buy another batch, but the pill was still being refined. It seemed that it would be a long time before the pill they wanted to refine was successful. Some of these people also found that although the external spectators were constantly moving, there was a figure in black, but he stood there unchanged. Only he was still watching the two people's medicine refining, as if he was surprised and addicted to it. Xiao Yan casually glanced at the pill prototype in Xiao Yan's medicine tripod. A look of surprise flashed in his eyes. Although Xiao Yan was not very good, his strength was really good. After a little surprise in his heart, Xiao Yan turned his eyes to Mu Ling again, but a light flashed in the depths of his eyes. One is Chipin Dawandan and the other is Chipin Fueling Pill. Both of them are the best healing pills among the 7 pills. However, the refining method of Dawandan is relatively easy to control. Xiao Yan can also pick it. In this way, the possibility of his refining success is higher than Mu Ling. The Poria Coco's pill refined by Mu Ling is indeed better than Da Huandan in terms of medicinal power, but its refining difficulty is far more than Da Huandan. It is really unknown that Mu Ling wants to surpass Xiao Yan. In a flash of time, after 5 days, the medicine tripod, which has not changed, emits a strange aroma from it. This smell is the gas of Dan incense. Once the Dan incense diffuses, the whole Yangluo city suddenly boils. This is the gas of Dan fragrance. This is the gas of Dan fragrance that can be condensed by 7 pills. Only 7 pills can converge. The thicker the Dan fragrance is, the stronger the effect of the pill will be. Looking at the Dan fragrance, this pill must be the best of the 7 pills. With the diffusion of the fragrance of pills, people were attracted again by the pill competition 5 days ago, and some of them shouted. Now it seems that the result of this pill competition is about to be known. If you go now, who can satisfy Xu Xiao and get the 7 pills he gave himself? As soon as these words came out, everyone was encouraged one after another. The 7 pill was a divine pill they didn't dare to think about. Now they have the opportunity to get it in vain. Naturally, they won't let it go easily. Suddenly, a large crowd rushed towards the site where Xiao Yan was in the city. However, for a moment, the site, which was empty half an hour ago, was immediately covered by countless heads, and the sky and earth were surrounded. Even those who fight against the emperor are filled with the sky like Chinese cabbage at the moment. Even if someone noticed Xiao Yan standing between Mu Ling and Xiao Yan, the surging flow of people was a cold hum at the sight of Xiao Yan, and a fighting emperor directly shouted. The hairy boy from there doesn't know the rules. Don't you know that Xu Xiao is refining pills? We all abide by the specifications and stand outside the field. Why should you stand in the field and get out of here for me? Don't bother Xiao refining pills. Before the rough words fell, the fighting emperor had moved and grabbed Xiao Yan. But he didn't want the 7-pill he had been waiting for to fall into the hands of others. At the moment, he saw Xiao Yan standing between them, and his heart was suddenly scheming. At this moment, he starts to catch Xiao Yan. First, he wants to show himself in front of Shushan. Second, he wants to stand here and let everyone see his strength, so that he can stand in a safe place. When he moved, a strong breath of fighting the Emperor's peak suddenly swept away, which shocked the countless surging heads. Unexpectedly, his strength was so terrible. I'm afraid he won't have a chance. Such thoughts had just risen in the hearts of the people, but there was a sudden sound of cold hum with supreme authority between heaven and earth. Hum. It's just the peak of fighting Emperor. How dare you be so bold? Go away. You don't have a place here today. With this cold hum, the Dohuang who rushed towards Xiao Yang suddenly flew out from the air like a shell that was hit and flew. The people present were surprised again. This man was actually a strong man of Dozong. Without waiting for everyone to respond, the voice turned to Xiao Yang. There was an irresistible sense of hegemony in the plain old words. Boy, I saved your life just now. I'm kind to you. I don't need you to repay anything. You just leave by yourself. It's not suitable for you here. As soon as this remark was made, the people present also reacted in an instant. The old man actually relied on his old age and wanted to get rid of people directly. In an instant, everyone in the field was sobbing at the old man. They were all old masters. They were so shameless. This face really lived on the dog. Xiao Yang also heard the speech and looked a little stunned. Then he couldn't help but raise a sneer at the corners of his mouth and replied calmly. You saved me? He, I asked you to save me? But just mind your own business. Boom. As soon as this remark was spoken, everyone in the field was surprised. Don't you know that you are facing a real strong fighter? The Dozong strongman's anger soared when he heard the speech. Xiao Yang's rude remarks made him feel a burst of humiliation. Even so, he was not stupid and asked Xiao Yang in a low tone. I don't know which elder of the Shu family you are. I've been close to several elders of the Shu family. I don't know if I know your elders. Xiao Yang smiled, and the sarcasm on his face became stronger and stronger. He smiled and replied. Sorry, I'm not from the Shu family. In addition, my elders, you, are still not qualified to know. Boom. Xiao Yang's voice didn't fall. The tyranny of the strong man of Dozong was to overwhelm Xiao Yang. However, Xiao Yang was as if he had nothing. His body was still motionless. He continued to look at the pill that was about to end in the mewling medicine tripod, and his look was quiet. The old man gave a light hum, and then his face suddenly turned cold. With a cold hum, he directly shouted. Bold young man, play tricks and come here for me. Today, I will educate you on behalf of your elders and let you know how to face your predecessors. Before the words fell, the old man's figure suddenly appeared in the air. With a flash of his figure, he already appeared on the side of Xiao Yang. His steel-like palm and claw stretched out and grabbed it straight down to Xiao Yang's shoulder. At the moment, Xiao Yang also showed a cold idea on his plain face, and a slightly cold plain voice came out again. I said, you don't deserve to know my elders. On behalf of them, you are not qualified. Boom. As soon as these words fell, the Dozong strongman burst into nothingness, that is, he didn't even leave his blood. In an instant, the whole audience was silent and the world was silent. Even Shushan and Mewling, who were putting their whole heart into the medicine tripod, were shocked in their hearts. The fighting spirit in their bodies was stagnant for a moment. The whole person stopped for a long time at this moment and was replaced by fear when looking at Xiao Yang. In an instant, the whole audience was silent and the world was silent. Everyone was replaying the scene over and over again. A strong fighter burst in front of the young man, even without leaving a trace of blood. What terrible strength does the young man have? I'm afraid it's also the peak of Dozone to be able to kill a strong man of Dozone. Such a young top strongman of Dozone had stood under their eyes for 5 days and was ridiculed by them. At this time, everyone felt a chill in their hearts. Among them, Shushan and Mu Ling are even more important. Xiao Yang has been standing here these days. If he had any ideas, I'm afraid they would have turned into 2 bodies. Shushan is better. His Shu family can dominate Yangluo City. Naturally, they have a lot of details. Although there are no strong fighters, there are several strong fighters. Don't say that Xiao Yang is only the strength of the peak of Dozone. Even the 5-star Dozuan must bow his head in his Yangluo City. As for Muling, if there is no strong one willing to help, I'm afraid even Xiao Yang's blow can't resist. For the thoughts in their hearts, don't say Xiao Yang doesn't know. Even if he knows, I'm afraid he won't pay too much attention to these little people. Now Xiao Yang doesn't care. Slightly deviated his head, casually glanced at the many monks behind him, and then turned his eyes to Shushan and Muling. Although Xiao Yang had no intention, the countless monks were shocked. At that moment, they were already scared to soften their legs, and bursts of fear came to his heart. Even if there are many monks who flash away with fear, it seems that they are afraid that Xiao Yang will turn around and hit him. Of course, there are also some smart people among the endless friars. There is no killing intention in Xiao Yang's eyes. How can he do it to them? Maybe for the young man, he disdains to kill such low-level friars. Some people's bright eyes took a deep look at Xiao Yang, then shut up and looked coldly at the people who fled in panic. By this time, those who had thought had already suppressed their greed, and all the fighting kings in the sky fell down. In front of Dozone's strong men, even if they are famous and powerful in the outside world, they are also humble at the moment. Just like ordinary people, Do Huang can never really break through before Dozone. At this time, some of the people also remembered a passage that someone had said before. Xu Shaozong forcibly killed an adult 7-rank gilded beast in the strength of fighting the emperor. These achievements are indeed a myth in the past, but when I think about them at the moment, I feel that they are extremely ridiculous. The 7th level adult gilded beast is at least equal to the 7-star sect of human beings. How can he have such strength, Shushan? If you think about the man's expression when he spoke, I'm afraid you can guess that he should be a soldier of the Shu family as long as you think about it with a little heart. Why, you two, don't you want to continue? You've reached the end of the pregnancy pill process. Let's finish refining in one fell swoop. When everyone was distracted, Xiao Yang's plain voice spread again, which made Shushan and Mu Ling turn around suddenly. They almost forgot that Xiao Yang still existed on one side. They looked at Xiao Yang cautiously and ignored the dying flame in the medicine tripod. After all, there was a guy who could easily kill himself at any time. I'm afraid no one could do well. Xiao Yang naturally knew this very well. He smiled and said, "What happened just now is just a small episode. You two continue. Of course, I won't disturb your alchemy process, let alone covet your pill. Just look at it at will, that's all." Muling heard the speech, his nervous look was also slightly relaxed, and he didn't hesitate anymore. His soul power poured out in an instant, and the power of green, yang, and mysterious fire soared sharply, but Muling steadily controlled it at a very appropriate temperature and continued the last step of the pill. Shushan took a deep look at Xiao Yang before he put his mind in the medicine tripod years ago. However, in the space beside it, there is an old figure suddenly. Judging from its thick breath, its strength has reached the point of 3-star Dozuan. Xiao Yang didn't even look at it. He looked at the two people in the field for the final ending. Xiao Yang is meaningless, but it doesn't mean that the people around him are meaningless. At the moment of the old man's appearance, there are amazing voices in the crowd. Look! The old man around Xu Xiao is none other than the 5 elders of the Xu family. His strength has reached the terrible state of 3-star fighting respect. Outsiders call him Xu Pei of Yang Luo Hand. What? It's Elder Xu Pei. Didn't he disappear 2 years ago? Hey, missing is just that you can't see others. It doesn't mean that he's dead. Didn't you see Elder Xu Pei guarding Xu Xiao all the time? It seems that Elder Xu Pei has been secretly protecting Xu Xiao in the past 2 years. Tut tut tut. Elder Xu Pei had the strength to surpass the 3rd level in those years. With the strength of the 2-star Dozuan, he forcibly killed a 5-star Dozuan, so that he could have a place among all the Dozuan's strong men in the southwest. Yes. Now his breath is more vigorous than it was then. I'm afraid he has broken through to Sunqing Dozuan. Hey, how dare this boy dare to be so big in such a public today? You'll feel better. While they were talking about each other, Xu Pei was a pair of muddy old eyes staring at Xiao Yang, as if he wanted to see Xiao Yang through completely. But in a flash, Xu Pei's body was slightly shocked, and his eyebrows were slightly wrinkled. His eyes, which had been staring at Xiao Yang, also unconsciously moved away. Just now, when Xu Pei explored Xiao Yang, he did not know why. His eyes staring at Xiao Yang became more and more blurred. Xiao Yang's body seemed to be shrouded in a thick fog, which made him unable to see through. The look on his face changed slightly, but when he looked at Xiao Yang again, the feeling was imperceptible. In short, everything about Xiao Yang gave him an unspeakable sense of mystery. Such a time, Xu Pei's frown could not help but wrinkle deeper, and his eyes to Xiao Yang were full of surprise. Who is this son, and why is his breath so strange and uncertain? What is the meaning of coming to Yangluo City? Xiao Yang's mystery also made Xu Pei feel a series of questions. For an old man like him, it's hard for him to get attention. Now what he really cares about is Shushan in front of him. The emergence of Xiao Yang naturally makes him have a lot of questions in his heart. In silence, some small lime powder also slipped from the fingers under Xu Pei's sleeve robe. At the same time, 4 pairs of turbid and sharp old eyes opened in the depths of a rich family in Yangluo City. All this, naturally, can't escape Xiao Yang's eyes, but these are just like this for Xiao Yang. He is too lazy to pay too much attention in his heart. This kind of little man cannot arouse any emotion in his heart. Of course, unless they are stubborn, they have to talk to Xiao Yang. As time passed by, the forehead between Shushan and Mu Ling was already covered with dense beads of sweat, and their clothes were already wet enough to wring out of the water. The green tendons on his forehead bulged and wriggled constantly. His plain eyes had become red and his eyes protruded abnormally. At this moment, the 2 people finally reached the point where the oil ran out and the lamp dried up. Xiong! Shushan slapped the tripod with his palm, and the lid of the medicine tripod was opened. The gold-gilded fire suddenly rose into the sky, wrapped with a round pill the size of a longan, and then Shushan took it in his palm. The arm is stretched forward, and the palm is slowly spread out. The strong smell of Dan fragrance spreads out. It makes people feel very comfortable when taking a sip. A pale blue pill is wrapped in a thin mist. The glittering and translucent light makes people know that these pills are by no means ordinary. Cough. Live up to people's expectations. 7th grade intermediate Da Huan Dan, young master, has finally been refined. Please gasp and cough a few times. Shushan's mouth raised an arrogant smile. Today, he once again proved that in Yangluo City, Shushan is the first person who will not change his use. It was Xu Pei on one side who looked at Shushan's muddy old eyes and was full of joy. Although Shushan is very weak at the moment, the person who can refine 7 pill as a 6-product herbalist can have geometry. At the moment, Shushan is proud of everyone. However, all this seemed to Xiao Yang on one side, but it was just that one thing. Without looking at anything else, it was the 7 great return pills. In his eyes, it was already a pure failure. The color of the pill is dim, and the smell of the pill is ordinary. The medicine power of the pill is even more mixed. Although it is forcibly integrated together, if it is really used, I'm afraid there will be a lot of trouble. However, Xiao Yang is also not in the mood to be a good man, punish him, cheat the world. Such a person will sooner or later suffer evil consequences. Why should he be in a hurry? Compared with Shushan, Muling's condition is obviously much better. Although his whole person is weaker than Shushan, the pill in the medicine tripod is more congealed and can be called the best. Muling changed his hands together, changed the formula in his hand, and took out the fueling pill in the medicine tripod. Wait for 5 breath time, and then take it out. The power of fueling pill will be completely condensed and turned into a whole pill. When Xiao Yan saw the action in Muling's hand, the corners of his mouth suddenly turned away. The boy was really anxious. The pill that was about to be coagulated successfully was so abandoned by him. How can Xiao Yan be lonely? Muling felt a movement in his heart when he heard the speech. Quan Dan was saying that the pill was really refined successfully. For general pills, the completion of refining is just a pill. Like the big return pill in Shushan's palm at the moment, it should be a pill in the eyes of everyone. But Quan Dan is much better than Cheng Dan. The medicine power will be several times higher than Cheng Dan, and the effect is even stronger and amazing. No wonder Muling will change like that after hearing Xiao Yan's words. The knot in Muling's hand quietly dispersed. The whole person seemed to have beaten chicken blood. The spirit suddenly turned, and the blood in his body seemed to boil. The people outside the court also heard what Xiao Yang had just said. Suddenly, under the pressure of Xiao Yang, the people with a low and cold face immediately became fierce and looked like clouds and mud compared with just now. Quan Dan. Quan Dan was born. I've heard that with this Quan Dan, it's equivalent to an extra life. Shit, I don't see who dares to rob me. Quan Dan's temptation made a part of him crazy. He stared at the medicine tripod in front of Muling with red eyes. The clothes on his body shook unnaturally and made a posture ready to move at any time. At this moment, these guys who lick blood all day around the edge of the knife finally can't stand the confusion of Quan Dan. They forget the strength of their opponents and only have the desire for the treasure. Seeing this, Shushan's face and expression also became gloomy at the moment when the miscellaneous words of the people around Xiao Yang fell, and his eyes looking at Xiao Yang were full of resentment. 5 breath time is fleeting. Muling changed the seal formula between his hands, and then the medicine tripod cover exploded with the handprint. The blue flame turned into a strong fire dragon, circling in the air and roaring, as if it were a real dragon. The fire dragon had a pill the size of a green dragon's eye in his mouth, followed the fire dragon and twisted his body into the sky. The pill was green and shining, matched with the fire dragon's momentum, and was incomparable in strength, fly to the sky. At this time, the group of crazy fighting kings and emperors also looked up at the fire dragon. Quan Dan's eyes were full of salivation. Immediately, the fighting wings behind him shook and became apparent. Then he moved and rushed to the fire dragon, looking at it from a distance, like countless streamers flying to the sky. Muling's pupil shrinks when he sees this. Although he is very surprised that he can refine Quan Dan, he also knows how difficult it is to refine Quan Dan. So what's the power of Quan Dan? As a herbalist, he naturally knows very well. Therefore, he has already had another plan in his heart on how to use this fueling pill. However, seeing this group of people rush forward with thick skin at the moment, he was extremely anxious. He was very oppressed and said, "The pill I refined will become someone else's wedding dress in turn. This shit world." Hum. Suddenly, a faint hum spread from nowhere. Under this sound, all the fighting kings and emperors who flew forward were forcibly blasted out by an invisible force. Seeing this scene, Muling subconsciously turned his eyes to Xiao Yang. He didn't know Xiao Yang as a stranger at all. This man actually helped him. What's that for? When he thought about it, Muling immediately seemed to think of something. The original look of gratitude to Xiao Yang also scattered in a crowd. All that remained was vigilance and fear. Although Xiao Yang only looks like a young man, he doesn't know how many years he has lived in the fighting mainland and how many worlds he has seen. All kinds of people naturally understand what Muling thinks with his old and mature shrewdness, and then he smiled and said a word faintly. "You don't have to think so much. Your green Yang Xian fire and Quan Dan are just second-class goods for me. You can rest assured." As soon as he said this, Muling raised his eyebrows and could spit out old blood. He felt a little sigh that this man was too arrogant, didn't he? It was the first time he saw someone who didn't look up to him. He said that he was just a second-class product. He wanted to say, "You're strong, you're powerful, you go quickly." However, as long as this person has no desire to spy, he is also embarrassed to speak. After all, they are friends from afar. It doesn't mean that he should be polite to each other. Otherwise, what's the difference between him and a group of cheeky people in the air? Thank you, brother. I'm a little ashamed of what happened just now. Muling's apology makes Xiao Yan feel better about him. His character doesn't depend on blowing. A small thing is enough to manifest. At the moment, Muling has just given Xiao Yan a reason to really help him. Compared with Muling, Shushan looked more gloomy. As soon as Quan Dan came out, he announced his status as the first person in alchemy of the younger generation in Yangluo City. Moreover, the owner of this name was the mole and he trampled to death at will some time ago. Now how can he tolerate this change of roles? The key is where the boy talks and laughs, which makes his opponent's face, so Shu Shenqin cheers up. The fire dragon wandered around the sky. With the change of Muling's handprint, it circled and flew down. The huge body of the fire dragon broke through the crowd defense tower, and the huge body slowly disappeared. Finally, a fueling pill also fell into Muling's palm. Feeling the warmth in the palm of his hand, Muling could clearly perceive the incomparable powerful power and vitality of the pill, as if all the breath of death would disappear in front of him. The breath of life of this pill had reached such a terrible level. Muling raised his palm and spread it out, exposing fueling pill to countless still hot eyes, which attracted a burst of resentful eyes into the depths of his heart. However, Wei Ran was not afraid in his heart at this time, and his clear voice slowly spit out from the former's mouth. This is Chipin Quan Dan, Poria Cocos. Shit, spell it. Go? Brother, grab pills with me. Before the clear voice dispersed, countless people rushed towards the pill in Muling's hand with a crazy and ferocious face. It looked like they were going to eat Muling together. At this time, Shushan's venomous voice also suddenly spread to the whole sky, and the voice was empty and quiet. This was Shushan's words after a great struggle in his heart. At the same time, he pointed to Xiao Yang with his fingers. Whoever TM can help me kill these two people, my Shu family will report it again, and this fueling pill belongs to this person. Once the words full of temptation came out, the boiling crowd became more intense. The human feelings of the Shu family are more important than life to some extent. Looking at Shushan's cruel appearance, this heavy report must not be the latter's perfunctory work. If you are lucky enough to be an elder of the guest Qing of the Shu family, if you put such a position thousands of miles around here, it is below one person and above 10,000 people, and you can enjoy countless resources, how can they easily say to give up? Xu Xiao's human feelings, in their view, higher than those of the Chinese prince. After all, this is a world with great strength. They couldn't have been heartless. Therefore, when Shushan's voice just fell, this group of fighting kings and emperors, with 100 people, had rushed frantically towards Xiao Yang and Muling. Muling's face changed slightly, and he was afraid of the terrible crowd. Shushan looked at them with a cold smile. His heart provoked him, but he didn't have long eyes. He was a member of the Shu family. Boy, what if you're a dozo? You've provoked Ben Shao. It seems that your life will come to an end today. If you want to blame you, you're blind and stand in the wrong team. Compared with Shushan's vicious smile, Xu Pei on one side stepped in front of Shushan, stared at Xiao Yang with his eyes, and had an inexplicable bad hunch in his heart. Xiao Yang has no expression on his plain face in the face of many madmen. He doesn't like killing. For these people, he can't even mention the heart of killing. This may also be the contempt of the strongest for the weak. Ignoring the crazy crowd, Xiao Yang turned around and looked at Xu Pei. Being stared at by Xiao Yang, Xu Pei was shocked suddenly in his heart, and then recovered, but his eyes looking at Xiao Yang were full of fear. I don't know who you are and where your teacher came from. At this moment, even Xu Pei, a strong fighter, has a more solemn sense of Xiao Yang in his words. Ignoring Xu Pei, Xiao Yang's backhand was a slap. The next moment, countless fighting kings and emperors with a distance of tens of feet between Xiao Yang and him flew out. The houses in this area were also smashed into ruins under this group of fallen strong men. I didn't want to do anything, but you, the younger generation, have a killing heart for me. I don't like this very much. So what do you want? Xu Pei's eyes narrowed slightly and stared at Xiao Yan tightly. His tone of voice had changed obviously. He knew that today, I'm afraid there would be a big war. Xiao Yan glanced casually in a certain direction with his plain eyes, and then said faintly, "It's not what I want, but you. Since you want to deal with me, why say any nonsense? Just come directly." Xu Pei suddenly turned cold on his face when he heard the speech. With a cold hum, his body shook and his fighting spirit gushed out of his body. He suddenly shook his right palm and waved it again. He turned his fist into a claw. One claw was grabbed at Xiao Yan. The boy is arrogant. If I move, hell hands. Xiao Yan didn't move at all. He stood on his side. Invisibly, an overwhelming momentum spread quietly, which made the heaven and earth roar with an evil wind. At this time, Xu Pei's bombardment finally came to Xiao Yan. Looking at Xiao Yan with a light face, Xu Pei gave a cold hum in his heart and sneered at Xiao Yan's arrogance and ignorance. The fighting spirit between the palms was even deeper and more powerful. But the next moment, Xu Pei's figure, the claw that grabbed at Xiao Yan angrily, stood horizontally in the void and couldn't take half an inch. In front of Xu Pei, there seems to be an invisible barrier. Even before this barrier, he is unable to return to the sky. Drink. Give it to me. Xu Pei's mind moved, but he couldn't help being embarrassed. All his fighting spirit gathered in the palm of his hand. In just a moment, he had turned into a huge light mass with a radius of about zhong. The light regiment looks crystal clear, just like an ice crystal pearl. Outside the light regiment, thunderous thunder flashes dazzling thunder with extraordinary momentum. Drink. Thunder beads, condensation. In Xu Pei's palm, the huge light mass condenses rapidly and weakly at a speed visible to the naked eye, and the breath in it is also more and more thick and strong. I think if one blow breaks out, it will be unbearable for the 7-star fighter. Naturally, the people outside the court also saw the extraordinary attack of Xu Pei and felt the more powerful breath in the light group. They all retreated to the horizon. It can be seen that the power of the light group is powerful. Xiao Yan, however, is still a light-hearted person, as if all this has nothing to do with himself. Old 5, stop. Don't hurt yourself. Wait for me and this boy to do another 100 moves. Suddenly, a violent drink came from the far side of the sky, and then a streamer crossed the void like lightning, and suddenly flashed to Xiao Yan's side. The powerful momentum belonging to the 8-star Dozuan suddenly poured down, and one punch was angry at Xiao Yan. The boy from which family is so arrogant if he has some strength? Today, let me see where you come from for such courage. Drink. Xiao Yan was indifferent to the old man's angry drink, that is, he didn't even take a look at the angry fist. Under the unbelievable eyes of the whole city, Xiao Yan raised his palm and greeted the old man's fist. A fist and a slap came quietly. The two touched each other. The world was silent as if nothing had happened. The old man's powerful and fierce blow was like an ordinary old man's fist, without authority. This? How is it possible? Who the hell are you? The old man's face changed in an instant. He could clearly notice that just now, the moment his fist touched the palm of the young man in front of him, the fighting spirit in his body had been completely sealed. At the moment, he was no different from the ordinary old man, or even more weak. This situation can only show that the strength of the young man in front of him has reached the realm of transcendental terror, which is by no means a terrorist existence that he can compete with. Is this young man already a man of that realm, the realm of the real strong? Xiao Yan naturally saw the idea in the old man's heart. He made a slight force between his palms, pushed it out with one palm and made a bang. The old man flew backwards like a kite with a broken line. This video will end here.